Hello, my name is Sarah, and I'm an event planner at the Orange County Library System, but I am also a published author. A lot of people think of an editor as a single kind of job, but there are actually several different types of editors. So today I'm going to be talking about the different types of editors involved in the book publishing process. A developmental editor looks at the whole story and suggests big picture changes related to things like plot, pacing, structure, characters, setting, point of view, tense, as well as style and voice. They may also suggest changes with an eye towards marketability. A developmental editor will often provide their thoughts in an edit letter or editorial report in a document separate from the manuscript, which they may also leave comments on. Another subset of developmental editors are called sensitivity readers. Sensitivity readers will provide feedback on possible inadvertent harmful stereotypes, misrepresentation, bias, offensive content, or other cultural insensitivities. At a publishing house, sensitivity readers are often freelancers because they usually share the personal experiences relevant to the representation that they are providing feedback on. They will usually share overall thoughts on the representation, as well as comments on specific instances in the manuscript. Line editing is the process of looking at a story at the sentence and paragraph level, ensuring it is clear and it flows well. It's sometimes called stylistic editing. A line edit looks at sentence flow, especially with an eye out for repetitive sentence structure or sentence structure that negatively affects the pacing. A line edit also looks at inconsistencies in point of view, tense, voice, characterization, dialogue, and word choice. This will be the edit to point out clunky prose, awkward transitions, redundancies, cliches, when literary devices aren't working, or when you are telling when you should be showing. A line editor will usually do their work in comments and markups, but if there is a mistake that the author is making over and over again, they may provide kind of a lesson in how the author can spot this error for themselves and fix it themselves. Often at a publishing house, the person doing developmental edits and line edits could be the same person, or sometimes a line editor is also a copy editor. A copy editor also takes a look at the manuscript on the sentence level, but more on the technical side. They are usually looking for errors in grammar, consistency, usage, syntax, and punctuation. Copy editors also usually do some fact checking and do other things like making sure the table of contents is correct. This work is usually done entirely through comments and markups on the manuscript. A proofreader is often one of the last editors to look over a manuscript before it goes to production after it has been formatted for production, including things like photos, diagrams, and page numbers. This document is called a galley proof or uncorrected proof, and usually comes in the form of a PDF file. They look for mistakes like grammar and punctuation and making sure the correct character's name is used. They'll also keep an eye out for weird word splits at the end of lines, or something that we call orphaned lines, where just a couple words at the end of a chapter gets left on a page by themselves. These edits should go in the order that I've discussed them, kind of from big to small. You don't want to have to do a copy edit, for example, and then do a developmental edit and then have to do the copy edit all over again because you've changed so much of the manuscript. I wanted to comment on a couple of editing jobs that you may see listed in regards to publishing houses. A managing editor is in somewhat more of a project management role than a typical editor. They oversee the process of a manuscript becoming a book, usually working with the editorial, art, and production departments. Another type is the acquisitions editor or acquiring editor. As the name implies, these editors acquire manuscripts for publishing houses. They receive submissions from literary agents, seek out authors and projects that they want to pursue, evaluate manuscripts, and identify the manuscripts the publisher should pursue. Every publishing house is a little bit different, so sometimes an acquisitions editor is also the developmental editor for a manuscript, and sometimes they solely acquire manuscripts for other editors to edit. Before signing with a publisher or an agent, An author may have beta readers or critique partners who perform any of these different types of edits for them. These are usually your peers, and you trade critiques back and forth with them. I've been discussing these editors and types of edits in terms of what a publishing house would provide an author that they've signed a contract with, but there are freelance editors that do the same kind of work. In the traditional publishing model, the publishing house provides the editors and pays for all the different types of edits. If a publisher tries to charge the author for any of these different edits, that is not a traditional publishing model, and it may be a red flag if the publisher is trying to masquerade as a traditional publisher. Authors without a publisher, or those who seek to self-publish, can hire a freelance editor to do any or all of these different kinds of edits. If you are seeking an agent or a publisher, it is absolutely not required that you pay a freelance editor before going out on submission. However, many writers do find it helpful, but you should only really pay for this if you can afford it and you see the value in it. Most published authors that I know did not pay a freelance editor before going out on submission, but they did seek the help of critique partners, like I mentioned earlier. It is universally recommended that a author seeking to self-publish get a professional edit before publishing their manuscript. I hope that I have helped clear up any confusion about the different kinds of edits and editors that are out there. Please feel free to leave any questions in the comments.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about writing workshops and see more videos, visit ocls.info/writers corner. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.